The next most important thing here is the background vocals. So these, I just have them all grouped out the same thing. Oftentimes I'll break them up into soprano, alto, tenor, and kind of subgroup them. It didn't feel necessary to me on this one. They weren't laid out that way in the beginning anyway. They're groups, so there's a lot of bleed in between the layers anyway. And so these are all kind of treated the same. No need to go over them all individually, but they are roughly like that. A little bit of compression and pulling out a lot of weight and a little bit of harshness from the vocals. So I told you they're all the same. Let's make sure they are. I think they are. They are. So together, without any of the bus stuff on it.
Why would you worry about the things you're going through?
Those are pretty heavy. A lot of this low end stuff in there. So I'm pulling quite a bit out. There's a 6 dB of that, of every track, and also some light compression. Again, same mentalities with the lead. It's some minimal balancing. Minimal
Why
leveling.
would you worry about the things you're going?
That'll be source dependent. These are not wildly, dynamic, but they are relatively dynamic. And so, it's, what is that, 3.5 dB that it's been doing. Not a game changer, and also helps level things out and even things out in between the tracks, right? That's different than compression on the bus. So that's why I'm doing that. On the bus, we are taking out more of the same like low endy stuff and some tubbiness, and taking out kind of everything except the top end a little bit there. But mostly it's this low endy, tubby, 200 hertz. That kind of thing. It's heavy, it's weighty. My blue stripe.
Why would you worry about the things you're going?
Hitting it relatively hard for me, but I liked it and it was working and helps us hear all that stuff. Massive, passive. Again, I'm using the same settings, just adjusting the amounts of them. I love this on background vocals too.
Why would you worry about the things you're going?
That's a level of polish that's just too easy to get with this plugin. So I love that. If we take a lot of this out, sounds horrible. Like all of it's gone.
Why would you worry about the things you're going through?
And also getting rid of some of that really helps, like just tuck it in there nicely and feel like it's ready. Same with this high end thing, like it can get kind of sizzly if we go too much.
Why would you worry about the things you're...
But without it,
Why would you worry?
We lose some nice sparkle. I like that. Soothe, beautiful, beautiful plugin on vocals. Same thing.
Why would you worry?
Pretty light. And finally, one more EQ that is not being used on this song at all. At all. Wonderful. And that's it. I am sending this bus 3. Normally those are named. This is a sidechain. You'll see this little blue indicator here. Means that it's pre-fader. The only things that I ever do pre-fader are sidechains. Sidechains. I think that's it. My bass parallel is pre, but that's it. Reverbs and delays and things should never be pre. Yeah, everything else I want to be post fader. But this way, if this is muted, we still hear the BGV sidechain. So the sidechain still gets to the plugins and they will still work. That's why we do it that way. Otherwise, but this, like a reverb, if we mute the vocal, we don't want to hear the reverb anymore. So that's why those are post. They also will follow, the level of the track. So they adjust with the track. And if I pull down, wouldn't do this on a vocal, but if I pull down the choir, 15 dB or something, and the verb stayed up high, then it drastically changes how the verb and how wet that instrument or that vocal is, right? So that's why those are post. post fader. Piece of cake, easy. We have a little bit of verb, a little bit of delay, and a little bit of verb. This verb is it's like a reverse verb. It's very short. It's just space, right? It's not a tail. It's a space. So that's this one.
About the things, why would you worry about the things you're going through?
In moderation, beautiful. Delay, too. This is kind of a space delay. It's not really a echo or like an eighth note thing. It's like,
why would you worry about the things you're
it just provides tail and a little bit of ambience and movement and texture. And both of those I use quite frequently on live records and kind of rarely, unless it's kind of I use them a lot on gospel-y, churchy kinds of songs, I guess I would say, and not a lot on other types of songs. And then I'm adding a BGV hall on here too, which I oftentimes have a longer delay of some sort. This one is, or longer reverb of some sort. This one's a hall. It fit best with this song and this live room and all that. That is just a vintage verb, simple. And let's see, we'll show you the other two as well.
Hey, this is Jon Blass. You may have seen that I just announced my Gospel Producers Mixing class. My intent here is to let you into my thought process, my insights, how and why I do what I do every day to create the best art that I possibly can for clients that I respect so much. I get to work with some really incredible artists, and this is how I think about mixing and music and art and how I get to the finish line with these records. Click the link in my bio or scan the QR code to gain access to this class.
And sometimes it's virtually nothing. So it just depends on the record and what the producers are looking for. On this kind of record, I think it was really nice to have the live background vocals, and they add an important texture and an important live element of this. You know, the choir is kind of always overdubbed, and that's the only way to get that sound that's so prevalent in gospel music today. But having the live texture underneath really adds to that live feel in a recording like this. So here's these. There's not a lot of talking that needs to happen about these, but
worry about the things you're going through. When God is already proving himself to you.
and that's literally it, right? Like I'm rolling off a ton of low end, getting rid of some harshness, brightening it up a little bit. And that's it. There's virtually no compression. I'm compressing on the tracks. I'm adding a little bit of reverb, and that's it. They fit beautifully underneath these more polished vocals, and they add exactly what they need to add.
When God is already proving himself to you.
Come on, ask him again. Say why?
Why would you?